Finna move on to a story that I'm still up in the air about how I'm gonna respond.
The internet just exploded. Not with a rumor, not with a whisper. With a headline so reckless, so radioactive, that even the blogs paused before reposting it. Breaking: Tamar is HIV+. Yandy snaps before Mendeecees gets arrested. Now wait. Before you start typing, before you start defending, before you start screenshotting this video to send into the group chat, ask yourself one question. Who started this and why now? Because last night, something shifted. Yandy's energy, different. Mendeecees' silence, deafening. Tamar's name, trending for all the wrong reasons. And then, out of nowhere, anonymous accounts began pushing the same explosive claim. Not confirmed, not sourced, just circulating. And here's where it gets dangerous. Nobody has officially said anything. Nobody has denied anything. But somehow everyone is talking. So what's really happening behind the scenes? Is this another internet smear campaign? A calculated distraction? Or did someone hit post on something that was never supposed to go public? Tonight, we're breaking down the timeline. The silence, the snap, and the so-called arrest that may or may not be connected. Because in 2026, scandals don't start in courtrooms, they start online, and once they start trending, there's no stopping the fallout. The headline didn't just trend, it detonated at exactly 11:47 p.m. Screenshots started circulating across X, Instagram, and TikTok. The claim: explosive, reckless, potentially career-ending. Anonymous blogs were whispering about Tamar. Comment sections were dragging Yandy's name into it. And somehow, right in the middle of the digital chaos, Mendeecees' name began appearing next to one word that sends chills through any celebrities. PR team: arrested. Now pause. No official statement. No court documents. No verified reports, just timelines colliding in real time. So how did we get here? Because this didn't start with a headline. It started with tension. For weeks, fans noticed something was off. Subtle unfollows. Cryptic captions. A live stream where Yandy's tone shifted mid-sentence. Tamar appeared on camera looking calm to calm, while the comments underneath spiraled into conspiracy mode. And then came the snap. Sources. And when I say sources, I mean those anonymous accounts that always seem to know just enough to be dangerous, claimed that during a private gathering, Yandy allegedly confronted Tamar over a health rumor circulating behind closed doors. Again, emphasis on allegedly. But here's what made it viral within hours. The rumor mutated. It went from private disagreement to explosive accusation to full-blown internet courtroom. And that's when the screenshots surfaced. One blurry DM, one clipped audio snippet, one half-cropped post that looked deleted before sunrise. None confirmed. All shared thousands of times. Meanwhile, Mendeecees? Silent. And on the internet, silence doesn't mean privacy. It means suspicion. Comment sections lit up with theories. Was this about betrayal? Was it about loyalty? Or was it something deeper? Something that, if true, could reshape reputations overnight. Because here's what people forget. When celebrities fall out, it's rarely about one night. It's about patterns, history, pressure building behind polished Instagram smiles, and Tamar's past controversies. Not exactly small. Public feuds, emotional interviews, vague health discussions that were never fully explained. Moments that fans archived, clipped, and saved just in case. Now those old clips are resurfacing. Every word dissected. Every pause is analyzed. But here's the twist nobody expected, just as the rumor peaked. Just as TikTok creators began posting breaking thumbnails, whispers started connecting this online meltdown to something happening behind the scenes involving Mendeecees. Not confirmed, not proven, but trending. And in today's algorithm, trending is enough to ignite a wildfire. So the real question isn't whether the rumor is true. The real question is who benefits from it spreading. Because by the time dawn hit, one thing was clear. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was escalation. And escalation always has a next move by sunrise. The narrative had already split into factions. One side said it was a smear campaign. The other said it was long overdue exposure. And somewhere in the middle, a silent camp refreshing timelines every 30 seconds. Waiting for someone, anyone, to deny something. Because here's where it gets messy. Around 9:12 a.m., a now-deleted story allegedly appeared from an account close to the circle. No names, no direct accusations. Just a line that read, "Truth always comes out, even when you try to bury it." Cryptic? Absolutely. Strategic? Possibly. Coincidence? The internet doesn't believe in those. Within minutes, fan pages began connecting dots that may or may not even belong on the same page. Old interviews were clipped. Tamar, discussing health battles. Yandy once said in a podcast that loyalty is tested when secrets start leaking. Mendeecees speaking about protecting your family at all costs. Separate moments. Different years. Completely unrelated contexts, but stitched together. They looked like foreshadowing, and this is how digital investigations are born. Not in courtrooms, not in police stations, but in comment sections. Then came the so-called insider. Anonymous account claiming to have attended a private event weeks ago alleged that tensions were visible long before the rumor hit public timelines. According to this account, again unverified, there was a heated exchange behind closed doors. Raised voices. A phone slammed onto a table. A name repeated more than once. No recording. No video. Just words. But words spread faster than facts. By midday, YouTube thumbnails were already screaming in red text. TikTok analysts were breaking down body language from live streams that happened months ago. One creator even slowed down a clip of Yandy blinking and labeled it stress response. This is where we are now. Analyzing blink stop. Meanwhile, mainstream outlets. Quiet, no confirmation of any arrest. No medical statements. No official responses, and yet the rumor refuses to die. Because when something this explosive enters the algorithm, it doesn't need proof to survive. It just needs engagement. But here's the twist that changed the temperature. Late afternoon, courthouse speculation began circulating. A vague claim that paperwork was being processed. No case number provided. No verified documentation attached. Just a phrase repeated over and over. It's coming. What exactly? An announcement? A denial? A legal response? Or nothing at all? Or nothing at all? The silence from all parties remains intact. And in this climate, silence is a vacuum. And vacuums get filled with imagination. Now the timeline feels unstable. Because if this is just a rumor, it's spiraling at record speed. But if there's even a fragment of truth buried inside it, then someone, somewhere, is scrambling. And scrambling always leaves fingerprints by nightfall. The energy online had shifted again. It wasn't loud anymore. It was watchful. Because when rumors hit their peak and no one responds, something strange happens. The crowd gets quieter. Not because they've stopped caring, but because they're waiting for a press release, waiting for a live stream, waiting for someone to go live and say, "Let me clear this up." But nothing came. No denial. No lawyer statement. No fake news tweet. Just curated posts. Filtered selfies. Business as usual. And that might be the most unsettling part. Because when chaos is trending and the center of it posts a glam shot like nothing happened, that's confidence or calculation. Meanwhile, the arrest speculation kept mutating. One blog hinted at legal trouble. Another claimed sources close to the situation confirm investigation energy. Investigation energy. That's not even a thing. But it sounded official enough to circulate, and circulate it did. People started pulling old headlines involving Mendeecees from years back, blending past legal issues with present rumor as if timelines are interchangeable. They aren't, but the algorithm doesn't care about context. It cares about clicks. And then came the sympathy wave, because while some were dragging Tamar, others were defending her fiercely. Y'all believe anything? This is a character assassination. Stop playing with people's health. And they're not wrong. Real lives are involved. Real families. Real reputations. But here's the uncomfortable truth about viral storms. Once the narrative escapes, nobody controls it anymore. Not the person accused. Not the person defending. Not even the person who started it. It becomes its own entity. A digital wildfire fueled by screenshots, slowed down clips, and anonymous insiders who may or may not exist. And through all of this, one question still hangs in the air. If it's completely false, why hasn't it been crushed instantly? But flip that question. If it's completely fabricated, why would someone risk spreading something this severe? Those are the two poles the internet is swinging between, right? Now, total fiction, or buried truth. And until someone speaks clearly with receipts, with documents, with something solid, this story remains suspended in that uncomfortable gray zone where speculation thrives. What we know for certain: there is no confirmed arrest. There is no verified medical statement. There is no official documentation backing the viral headline. What do we have? Tension, silence, and an audience that refuses to look away. Because whether this turns out to be a coordinated smear, a misunderstanding blown out of proportion, or simply another example of the internet manufacturing drama out of thin air, fallout is already real. Reputations are being questioned. Friendships are being dissected. And trust, that's the first casualty in every viral scandal. Now the clock is ticking, and the next move, whatever it is, will decide whether this was just noise or the beginning of something much bigger. So what do you think? Calculated smear campaign? Or smoke hiding something bigger? Drop your timeline, your theory, and your receipts in the comments. Let's dissect this together. Like, subscribe, and stay locked in because the next update could change everything.